Third quarter earnings season is finally here, and we're leading it off, as usual, with the big banks. What do they look like now? How is their track record? And should you be considering adding some of these to your portfolio? I'm going to just take a look at the charts, even just from a chart viewpoint. It's got some interesting things going on, so let's get going. Okay, the first one out the gate is JP Morgan. They kind of are the unofficial start to earnings season now, or I guess officially now. And you can see that they have a very good track record of beating. They only had that one miss that is rare since our data began in 2016, back at the early to start this year. But otherwise, they have met or beat every quarter. But you can see that the shares have basically, what do you call this? Treading water. That's what I would say, for the last almost 2 years now. So can they break out? Will they break down? What is the status here? But we know with the Fed cutting, just banks are not the place you want to be. And so they're going to have to work real hard here with a lot of all their competitors to convince us to be buying here. Now, the shares are actually pretty cheap, trading 11 times, and you do get a dividend yielding about 3% with JP Morgan. And then we're going to get the one that's kind of the bad one of the group is Wells Fargo. WFC is the ticker here, but they have a new CEO. So this is going to be what I call, maybe a new era for them, but these shares have just been all over the place. They have managed to put together a string of 3 beats in a row here. So this next one will be a nice little streak for them if they can manage to meet or beat again. These shares are a little bit cheaper than JP Morgan, 10 times, and you're getting a little over 4% dividend yield with this one. But again, just like all of the banks I'm going to show you today, these have all of the same problems of the rates being cut. And then we're switching over to Citigroup. Now, they used to have one of the best charts in the banking industry of the big banks, and they still haven't missed since 2016. So that is a good and great track record. But you can see this shares really tanked hard into that December sell-off of a year ago in 2018. That looked like a big-time buying opportunity in these shares. Still could be, but now we have the same kind of pattern you can see with all of these big banks, where it's just basically treading water. You do get a dividend with Citigroup as well. It's now yielding 2.9%, and it's on the cheaper side at just 9 times earnings. And then switching over to Bank of America, again, you can just almost lay these charts on top of each other and they would look very similar. This one looks a lot like JP Morgan's chart, but they have their one miss back in 2016. But just basically treading water again with Bank of America. The dividend yield's a little lower, 2.5%, and it's trading at 11 times. Then we're going to switch over to one of the big regional banks. PNC Financial is one of my favorites, just 2 misses in the last 5 years. So that's a great track record. They sold off big there to end 2018 as well. That could have been a buying opportunity because they have, staged a nice little recovery here. But now we're getting that same similar pattern that you see with JP Morgan and some of the others, where it's just kind of treading water. Nobody really knows where they're going either. This one trades a little more expensive, 12.5 times for this large regional bank and 3.3% on the yield. So yes, maybe we've reached a point where I'm starting to talk about the dividend yields with some of these banks as we're getting this treading water fixture in the charts, which means as an investor, you might want to be paid for your patience. So keep that in mind. And this is going to be an interesting earnings season, so you don't want to miss a single episode of the videos. I will be covering everything that's going on, including the FANGs, the tech names, all the big industrial giants as we go along here. We're going to learn a lot about what's going on in the economy, so you don't want to miss a single episode. Be sure to subscribe on Zacks.com/YouTube. That's where you can get all of our YouTube videos, and definitely check in on our Twitter feeds as well, because we'll be posting all the videos there as well. But be sure to tune in, and I'll see you again later this week.